Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's WillE and today we're going to be looking at all the Dungeon and Raid Attunements available in Classic World of Warcraft. Now I'm going to make this nice and easy, step by step, show you exactly where to go, what to do, what to defeat, who to talk to, all the stuff you need to know, okay? And this is going to be for both Horde and Alliance. Just so you know, for dungeon attunements, if one person's done the attunement, the rest of the party can benefit, but for raid attunements, everyone has to have completed them. And of course, I'll have timestamps below so you can skip to a certain one if you want to see something, okay? So let's get on to it. Let's start with the dungeon attunements. We'll go from lowest to highest. The lowest level dungeon attunement is the Workshop Key available in Gnomeregan from Electrocutioner 3000, and this opens the back door in Gnomeregan. It's a 100% drop chance for all party members, so it's pretty easy to get hold of. The actual item itself isn't really too useful, to be honest, only for feral druids farming manual crowd pummelers. Apart from this, going in the back door doesn't really have much use for many classes, but hey, it's an attunement item, so it's going on the list. Next up, the Scarlet Key, another one that's really easy to get. It's contained in a box at the end of the Scarlet Library dungeon, just after Arcanist Dome. There will almost certainly be someone in your group with this key if you're running any of the Scarlet dungeons, as they're so popular at the moment anyway. However, it can be nice to have your own copy, in case you ever want to farm any of the dungeons at a later date. This key also opens the door to the Armory and Cathedral dungeons, as well as the door for the Cathedral proper. It opens doors inside the Scarlet area of the Stratholme Livingside dungeon as well, so don't forget the Scarlet Key when going there. Next up, we got the Mallet of Zul'Farrak, and this is the first attunement that's gonna take some effort here. And just a side note for future reference, I recommend that you make a start on the questline from Yeh'Kinya for the Ancient Egg. Before you do this, as you'll have to do a lot of travelling back and forth if you don't. Ideally, complete Screecher Spirits and the Prophecy of Mush-Aru, and get the quest The Ancient Egg, as it takes place in the same area as the attunement from the Mallet of Zul'Farrak. The actual mallet itself, you'll need to go to the Altar of Zul in the Hinterlands and defeat Kiaga the Keeper. She's a level 50 elite and has another elite nearby of the same level, so it can be quite challenging. I did manage to solo it on my Warlock at level 47. She does hit pretty hard though. Once you defeat her, she'll drop the Sacred Mallet, and you need to grab this and take it all the way up to the top of Jinthor Allure and use the Sacred Mallet on the altar in the centre. This entire place is packed with elites and can be pretty challenging. I recommend you get a group and do this quest along with the Ancient Egg, and I'll talk more about the Ancient Egg in a moment. The mallet itself summons Gazrilla, final and optional boss in Zul'Farrak. Bang the gong and he'll appear out the water. He has a pretty nasty knockback effect that hits everyone as well. You can avoid this by just standing in the water, and make sure you clear the area around him first as well so you don't pull too many other things. His loot table honestly isn't very great. The main attraction for defeating Gazrilla is definitely the quest that rewards Carrot on a Stick, 3% mount speed boost, which definitely adds up over time. Next one up, this involves a good bit of travelling to the Scroll of Yeh'Kinya. This starts off in Eastern Tanaris talking to a troll, who will give you a quest called Screecher Spirits. Travel to Feralus, defeat 3 Screecher Spirits and use the quest item on them. Hand in and be given a quest to go into Zul'Farrak and collect 2 tablets from Theka the Martyr and Hydromancer Vel Ratha. Collect these, back to Yeh'Kinya again, and the next quest up is called the Ancient Egg, which I've mentioned once or twice already. This one is a lot more difficult than what you've done so far, and takes place in a cave behind where you imbued the Mallet of Zul'Farrak. There are level 50 to 51 elites everywhere. I'd advise getting a group together for this, even if you can stealth, as the egg itself has a patrol of 3 mobs around it. And this egg back in at Yeh'Kinya to be given the quest, the God Hakkar, which allows you to summon and defeat the avatar of Hakkar in Sunken Temple, who has some really nice drops on his loot table. The fight itself is more of a event, I suppose you could call it, that summons a bunch of wind serpents. Loot their blood and light 4 fires, then the boss will be summoned. Don't forget to actually use the egg on the boss once it's all done as well. Turn this in at Yeh'Kinya and you can talk to him again to receive the Scroll of Yeh'Kinya, which allows you to summon and fight Avatar of Hakkar again. This questline also has some pretty amazing rewards, and it does have follow-up quests in Eastern Plaguelands and Lower Blackrock Spire. I'm currently working through this questline myself and it's really cool. I would definitely recommend doing it. The next dungeon attunement item is the Scepter of Celebras, and I'd advise doing this as part of a full Maradon quest run, as you will need to do both the orange and the purple sides to complete this quest. It starts from Kavindra, who can be found just before the entrance to the orange section, and she gives the quest The Legends of Maradon. She needs you to collect 2 items, which are the Celebrian Rod, dropped from Noxian on the orange side, and the Celebrian Diamond from Lord Viletongue on the purple side. Once you have both of these, you can continue onto the point in the dungeon where the two sides intersect at the Poison Falls area. Jump down, go a little bit up the path and defeat Celebras the Cursed. This will spawn Celebras the Redeemed. If you have both the rod and the gem in your inventory, you'll be able to hand in this quest here, and after a bit of RP, be awarded with the Rod of Celebras. This item is pretty amazing if you need to farm Princess Theradras for the Blackstone Ring, which is pre-raid BIS for basically every DPS specialization that auto attacks. The Scepter allows you to skip having to complete one side of the instance, and lets you get straight to Earthsong Falls, teleporting you directly there from outside. To actually use the Scepter and skip one of the sides, from the entrance go straight down as you usually would and drop down just after turning into the purple side. You should see a room with 4 golden goblets behind an NPC named the First Khan. Use your staff and a portal will appear. Your whole party can use this and be instantly teleported to the Earthsong Falls, which is just below you interacted with Celebras when you completed the quest. Now we start on Blackrock Depths, and you're going to be spending a while here, believe me. The attunement item here is called the Shadowforge Key. First you need to die and go and speak to Franklorn Forgerite in the Forgerite's tomb, just down the first chain in the centre of Blackrock Mountain. You won't be there whilst you are alive. He gives you a quest to go into Blackrock Depths, retrieve Ironfell from Phineas Darkfire, and hand it back to his statue. Now, Blackrock Depths is a bit of a maze, so here is the way to go. So from the entrance, go straight and then take a left into the Ring of Lore. Complete this event and head out from the newly opened exit gate, go up the ramp and then do a U-turn. Go right across the arena next to the public stands, then down the next passageway on the right. This should be the first passageway you see. From here, go left and go across the bridge. Watch out for this bridge area. When you're crossing it, 2 mobs will spawn from either side and attack you. Left again and follow the way until you come out to an open area. Carry on to the far door on the right and you should be in the Hall of Crafting. Phineas patrols up and down this ramp with a war golem and he hits pretty hard himself, so do be careful. Defeat him, get Ironfoe, and now we need to backtrack back to the bridge area just near the arena. And once you get back to here where you have the choice to go up to the arena, just keep on going straight to the dead end with Pyromancer Lawgrain, who by the way drops the enchant for Fiery Weapon. Interact with the statue and you'll get your Shadowforge Key, and this key is used all over Blackrock Depths to open gates and shortcuts, as well as the Shadowforge Lock, which gives access to the West Garrison and later parts of the dungeon. There are also alternatives like Skeleton Keys, Thorium Charges, or just Rogue's Lockpicking these gates too though, but it is pretty useful to have a key. The next one won't be available till Phase 2, but it's worth a mention here for future reference, and that is the Crescent Key. This one's pretty short and sweet, and you'll be going this way in this instance your first time anyway. Just after zoning in to Diamol East, you'll see an imp on your left. Talk to him and he runs off. Follow him and keep talking to him around the courtyard and eventually inside the Diamol itself, and eventually when he's cornered he'll attack you. Defeat him, grab the key. Job done. He drops the recipes for some good intellect food too. This key opens doors in Diamol North and West, and you can also unlock these doors via the alternatives, the same as with the Shadowforge Key. The Skeleton Key is used to unlock the door to Scholomance, and has a fair bit of questing and travelling to be done to complete. The start point for this varies from Alliance to Horde. The Alliance from the Clear the Way quest from Chillwing Camp in southern western Plaguelands, and the Scarlet Diversions quest from the Bulwark all the way to the west for the Horde. Following this, both factions have the same set of quests. All along the watchtowers is the follow-up and involves marking 4 towers in Underhull. Make sure you don't aggro the elite mobs inside the towers, they hit very hard. Next up, head back over to the Alchemist in your faction camp, who will ask you to gather 15 skeletal fragments. So go out there and defeat some skeletal enemies. Gather these, head back, and you'll now need to go to Crinkle Goodsteel, who is located in Gadgetzan in Kalendor, way to the south. Note you'll want to bring along 2 thorium bars before you make this journey, as you'll need them soon. Now, good old Mr. Goodsteel, like any goblin would, asks for 15 gold before giving you your follow-up quest, and this quest involves going to the top of Fireplume Ridge in Ngoro Crater. Make sure if you don't have them by now, there is an auction house in Gadgetzan, so you may be able to get the thorium bars from there. Head to the top of Fireplume Ridge, use your mould and get your unfinished Skeleton Key. You're nearly done now. Back in the Western Plaguelands now, the final leg of this quest series, you'll need to defeat Araj the Summoner, and he's actually a pretty easy fight by himself. The difficult bit is kiting and defeating all the undead surrounding him. Also, you can double up this quest objective by completing Alas and Ahal at the same time. With Araj defeated, grab his scarab from his phylactery he drops, go back to your alchemist, and you'll be rewarded with the Skeleton Key. The key to the city gives access to Stratholme's service entrance, aka Undead Side. This one's super simple. Magistrate Barthilus, one of the later bosses in the dungeon, drops one key to the city per run, which can be rolled on by the group. Win the roll, get the key, job done. The final dungeon attunement is for Upper Blackrock Spire. To gain entry here, you need a Seal of Ascension. First of all, you need an unadorned Seal of Ascension. This is a rarish drop from any mob inside Lower Blackrock Spire, and it should also be available pretty cheap off the auction house. I believe I got mine on my second run. Once you have this, you can go find Valen, who is disguised as an orc very near the entrance. Here's how you get to him. Valen will give you a quest to collect 3 gems from various bosses within Lower Blackrock Spire, as well as the unadorned seal you already have. You don't actually need to have started this quest to be able to loot the gems or the seal. You could wait until you have everything before visiting Valen. The 3 gems are the Gem of Spirestone from High Lord Omok, the Gem of Smolderform from Warmaster Voon, and the Gem of Bloodaxe from Overlord Wormthalak. These all have around a 1 in 3 chance to drop, and only one person can loot them if they do drop, so this one might take you quite a few attempts. Once you have all these, head back to Valen, who will present you with an unforged Seal of Ascension, as well as your next actions. This involves heading over to Dustswallow Marsh and finding the Drake Emberstrife. Place your unforged seal in the designated area, and I quote from the quest, "Beat him without mercy until his will is broken." Lovely. This means get him to about 10% health, hit him with the mind control orb Velen gave you, and use the extra action button on the seal to forge it. This will then allow you to open the door to Upper Blackrock Spire, which is part of another later attunement. So that covers all the dungeon attunements. For these, only one person in the party needs to have completed them, and everyone will gain the benefit. So if you wanted to go to Upper Blackrock Spire, for example, as long as one person has the key, everyone can get in. The raid attunements, however, everyone needs to have done the attunement in order to benefit. So even if one other person has done the attunement for Molten Core in your party, you need to have also done it yourself. Now let's talk raid attunements. Most of these are actually really simple, apart from one. Let's start with the easy stuff. Molten Attunement Core from Lothos Riftwalker, and then you have 2 options. Either you can visit the entrance of Molten Core during a Blackrock Depths run, or you can run there directly through the methods shown on screen. This does need the Shadowforge Key to do though. You need to interact with a rock just on the left of the entrance to get a core fragment. Take this back over to Lothos, and he'll be able to teleport you in the future directly from himself over to the entrance of Molten Core, saving you a good bit of running when going to the raid entrance. Next one I want to cover is Blackwing Lair. Not available till Phase 2, but it's good to know about. Just to the right of the entrance to Lower Blackrock Spire, go down the corridor and look to the left. You should see a Scar Shield Quartermaster. Take him out and he'll drop a letter, Blackhand's Command. This is a quest that needs you to interact with an orb just near General Drakisaf at the end of Upper Blackrock Spire. After doing this, you'll be able to teleport directly from the orb located near the entrance of the Lower Blackrock Spire entrance, just to outside of Blackwing Lair. Let's also just cover the attunement for Naxrammas quickly. It's basically a choice of whether you want to invest your time or just throw money at it really. Basically, they just want you to give them loads of money and they'll let you go into Naxrammas. The price goes down considerably at Revered and is free at Exalted. And of course the Argent Dawn rep is in the game from Phase 1, so questing in the Plaguelands areas, collecting Scourge Stones, as well as running the dungeons in the zone should give you a good start towards this grind. Which saves the best and the longest attunement by far for last, and that is the attunement for Onyxia's Lair and the Drake Fire Amulet. This one is a real journey and is entirely different for Horde and Alliance. The Horde is definitely more focused on killing, while the Alliance is more focused on telling a story, I suppose. Let's start with Horde. At first it seems like a go to a dungeon and kill stuff quest, but it unfolds into so much more. So you start in Kargath in the Western Badlands and pick up the quest Warlord's Command. This has you defeat some of the bosses in Lower Blackrock Spire, and don't forget to loot the documents while you're in there. They'll be labelled as inconspicuous documents, and they have several spawn points throughout the dungeon, either nearby one of the bosses you defeat or next to Urok's tribute pile, which can be found just after defeating Mother Smolderweb near a bunch of ogres. With the bosses defeated and documents in hand, journey back to Kargath, hand in and receive a follow-up to go to Orgrimmar. Once there, speak with Eitrigg and then Thrall, who will present you with the challenge of defeating Warchief Rend Blackhand in Upper Blackrock Spire, and this is quite a step up from Lower Blackrock Spire and also needs someone who has the Seal of Ascension attunement done. You may have trouble finding a group pre-level 60 for this, unless you're a healer I suppose. People often run Jed/Rend groups for Upper Blackrock Spire to farm the Briarwood Reed or the swords from Rend, and you'll be coming back to Upper Blackrock Spire a number of times later anyway, so you don't need to worry about doing a full run yet. Oh, and watch out for the Blackhand veterans. They have a knockback that will make you do a Leroy Jenkins impression. I learned the hard way, believe me. Once Rend's defeated, bring the head back to Thrall and receive info that Onyxia has infiltrated Stormwind and that for your next step you need to go and find Rexxar. Now you may know from Hearthstone, Rexxar hunts alone and he takes that quite literally in Classic. I guess he's too cool for Orgrimmar or something. He paths at Desolus, way from the north near Stone Talon Mountains, all the way to the south near the border with Verilas. Ask in general chat, who knows, someone may have seen him and be able to help out with the location. Once you've tracked down this elusive orc, for the first time, have a chat with him and he wants you to visit Miranda the Hag in the Western Plaguelands, so off we pop and have a chat with her. From her we find the idea that we need to create an illusion that we are a member of the Black Flight, which is the only way to gain access to Onyxia's lair. She needs us to collect 20 Black Dragonkin eyes from Upper Blackrock Spire, and you can farm these easily enough from the dungeon, shouldn't take you too long. Back over to Miranda with the eyes, she'll hand you a medallion and task you with travelling to Emberstrife in the Wormbog in Dustwallow Marsh. There you'll be tested to ascend to the rank of an elite guard of Onyxia and be able to enter her lair, or so you think. Emberstrife wants skulls, lots of skulls. The skulls of 4 elite dragons from the other flights spread out all across Azeroth. Renalis of the Bronze in Tanaris, Scryer of the Blue in Winterspring, Somnus of the Green in the Swamp of Sorrows, and Axtroz of the Red in the Wetlands. Bring friends for this one. After finally returning the last skull to Emberstrife, he'll congratulate you on your persistence and say you're ready to ascend to the rank of one of the Guardians of the Broodmother. However, he says you need to speak to General Drakisaf for the amulet he's given you to be enchanted, and your dragon disguise won't work in Upper Blackrock Spire, so this is a bit of a problem. Head back to Rexxar for some advice on what to do next. Rexxar, fortunately enough, just so happens to know the blood of General Drakisaf will activate the amulet. Travel back to Upper Blackrock Spire, defeat General Drakisaf and return the blood to Rexxar, who will then craft the Drake Fire amulet for you. Congratulations, you can now enter Onyxia's lair. So that's the Horde side done. Now let's look at the Alliance side of the story. Once again, it starts off with a quest that looks just like any other really, removing some of the dragon population in Burning Steppes through the Dragonkin Menace quest. The follow-up to this has you deliver a letter to Magistrate Solomon in Lakeshire, which is only a short flight away, or a ride if you don't have the flight path I suppose, who then sends you further on your way to Stormwind to speak to High Lord Bolvar Foredragon, who wants real proof that the threat is indeed from the dragons, not the Blackrock Orcs. He asks you to speak to Lady Prestor, who essentially says you're an idiot. Following this, Bolvar asks you to go back to Magistrate Solomon in Lakeshire. Now, as a deputy of Stormwind, you're on official business from this point. Head back to Maxwell after speaking with the Magistrate for the next step. It turns out that Maxwell has been slightly less than helpful so far, and already knew that Stormwind would not send help, and that proof of the threat was lost when Marshal Windsor was captured. Head to the north, speak to Ragged John, who was there during the attack on the party, to learn what happened to Windsor. Ragged John says he was dragged off to a prison. Back over at Maxwell again, now it's time to go and find Windsor in Blackrock Depths for the first time, and you'll need a prison key for this, which can be looted by one person from High Interrogator Gurston, who is located towards the back of all the cells. Windsor has bad news. He has lost the info he's gathered and even goes to say that he believes the proof is in Stormwind just next to Bolvar, implying that Lady Prestor is in some way related to the Dragonkin threat. Head back over to Maxwell with this information and he believes, unfortunately, Windsor's gone mad, rewards you for your efforts thus far and it appears you've reached a dead end. That is until your next visit to Blackrock Depths, where you may just come across a crumpled up note. Take this to Windsor inside Blackrock Depths, who revealed that based off this note, the proof that he has gathered is still available and is being held within Blackrock Depths by Golem Lord Argylmak and General Angerforge. Go up to those bosses, give them a slap on the head, get the info and head back over to Windsor. And he says it's now time for the infamous Jailbreak quest. Make sure you cleared literally the entire area around all the prisons and the area just in front of the entrance. This escort quest can be very challenging, and it has you go around pretty much all of the prison cells, defeating some people, freeing some other people, and spawning a load of mobs at one point that can be quite challenging. Once you reach the entrance, you'll have completed the quest, and Windsor asks you to go back to Maxwell. Over at Maxwell now, and he'll inform you that Windsor is planning to confront Lady Prestor in Stormwind. Head to the gates of Stormwind, speak to the Squire who will summon Windsor, and then do a massive RP walk through literally the entire city. Arrive at Stormwind Keep, and Windsor will break Onyxia's disguise, and she will also summon a load of elite guards as well. You can pretty much let Bolvar solo them, he's actually a beast, but just don't stand too close to them, they have a pretty nasty cleave attack. He will then present you with an amulet that you need to get enchanted in order to access Onyxia's lair. The only information you have about the person that can enchant it is that they exist somewhere. I've no idea how anyone found the person who can help. I suppose it's like the Secret Finder Discord for retail. Throw enough people at a problem and I guess someone comes up with an answer eventually. But it turns out the person that can help is Halle, who is located in Winterspring and is a member of the Blue Dragonflight. Just like the final step for the Horde, she needs you to collect the blood of General Drakisaf, so head over onto Upper Blackrock Spire, take him out, bring her the blood back, and she will hand you your Drake Fire Amulet. Attunement complete. That's everything I wanted to cover. There are many more small secrets that require what I suppose you could call an attunement, but these are the main ones most people will do for dungeons and raids. They do range from epic quests to short hand-ins, and I think they give you an extra sense of accomplishment that you've earned the right to be doing what you're doing. I really enjoy them personally. So, I hope this helped, or maybe you just learned a thing or two. If you like what you see, give the video a like and subscribe, as there's plenty more to come. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Bye.